Whew, I feel the energy of it. I feel a little nervous, actually.
Whew, feeling our own fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fear is such a big topic. It's so big. I mean, we could probably do an entire series on this.
Yes,
you know.
maybe we will. If you want it, write a comment.
Let us know, yeah. But really to try to give all of you something that you can bring into your day-to-day experience around how to move through your fear and really how to understand and experience what's happening in your own body as you experience fear in order to allow you to make decisions that actually serve you versus keep you from moving toward what you actually want to create.
Yes, because I think fear is a really natural part of growth, right? That there's something in us that is inherently afraid of the unknown or of change or of what it's going to look like in my life. And we don't know, right? We don't know. And so the body as a natural protection mechanism has that rise of that fear energy. And what does that feel like in your body when you feel fear?
Well, I think it can come up a couple different ways. So one thing I really identified after a lot of practice was anxiety. Anxiety to me is really tightly related to fear, and where and then of course subsequently I've learned that anxiety is all tied to the future, which means that I have a story about what I think I need to have happen. I'm attached to an outcome, and then there's where I'm in this moment and the truth of what's happening now. And so I really experience fear in my body usually through some sort of anxiety that something bad might happen, either, what does it always come back to? The fear of death? Isn't that right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That I'm actually afraid of dying in some way, whether that's like a separation from my tribe, my family, from my relationships, because I'm going to expose myself and I'm maybe attacked by the people I love the most, or even by strangers.
And by death, right? We don't necessarily mean just the death of the body. It's this fear of like, what happens when the ego identification is gone? What's happened when we don't know who we are anymore? Like, I think that's the most primal level of fear.
Right. Yeah. And that's where we get into like existential despair.
Totally.
Yeah, and that's another topic, totally separate topic.
But I just want to say in regards to your comment about anxiety is I was thinking about this the other day that I actually don't relate to that word a lot for myself, which is interesting. And I was like, this is such a commonly used word. Why don't I? And I think it's because when I experience fear in my own body, the sensation of that feels like it goes across such a big spectrum that like the word anxiety almost isn't specific enough for me to really like feel like I'm actively describing what's happening in my body. And oh gosh, I mean, one of the ways that fear really shows up. So when I'm going to be in front of people, teaching a workshop or public speaking to a new group in some way, it activates something in my body that feels like it actually doesn't feel very located in my body. Like I think of it as some type of free fall where I'm like, where am I in time and space? And I feel like I have no control. I feel like I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't feel really grounded. I feel like
you jumped off a cliff.
Yes.
And you just keep falling.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know where the bottom is.
And that's part of it too, is actually there's not knowing where the bottom is and to allow yourself to really stay, and this is something you talk about all the time, is to really stay in the unknown while this is happening and to not run away from it. Yeah. To really let yourself feel that sensation of falling and falling and falling. Yeah. But I guess the good news is there's no ground. So it's not like you're going to hit anything, or so you think.
What do you mean by that? There's no ground?
Well, I mean, this really, I was just thinking of some of the Buddhist teachings about, the groundlessness of life is it feels like a free fall, but the good news is there's no ground to hit. And that getting used to the sensation of the unknown is really the practice of that. And then every moment we're improvising our lives, and we might have plans, but really we got to be called back to now and to really experience that sensation of groundlessness, which is where a lot of the fear resides for people. They want to know what it's going to turn out to be. They want the plan and the expected outcome.
Totally. We want something concrete, right? The mind is driven this way, that it wants something to hold on to. And I think such a huge part of walking the spiritual path is about letting go of some of that, and about a willingness to be in the uncertainty, that when fear rises, to not push away fear, to not try to control it or even overcome it, but to actually learn to, I always think about, I think this is really a Buddhist term as well, of like inviting fear in for tea.
Yeah, it's like what I remember. I think it's from one of Pema Chodron's books. There's this beautiful quote at the beginning, which is, "In your religions, you try to smite your demons. In my religion, I invite them in for tea." Yes.
I love that in my heart. Like in my whole body, actually now it feels really good, because I think I tried for so long the other way of doing it, of like sitting on my meditation pillow and like trying to fix all my problems and fix and like afraid of who I would be if I wasn't fixed. And actually it was so exhausting. It felt so exhausting, and it felt like it was creating more separation between myself and myself, or myself and God, or what have you. It felt like I was fighting the upstream battle. And in letting go of that, in the surrender to that, in the breathing through that, and inviting in my demons for tea, it's like, oh, duality. Welcome.
Yeah, and really making friends. I mean, it may be another way to think about it. Not everyone likes to think about it this way, but really becoming friends with your fear and letting it speak to you. But then having that depth and awareness to say, I can always choose to listen to my fear, because sometimes it can be a very good choice.
Absolutely.
To listen to your fear.
Absolutely. Right? Which is kind of what you talk about when you talk about the body sensation of yes versus no. Like there are totally times where it's important to know, that's what I mean about this whole spectrum of sensation regarding fear or anxiety, because there are times where there's something very real coming up in your body that's saying no. Like don't go in that direction. Right. Or this relationship with this person feels really scary because actually it's not good for you. Like don't do it.
Right. And then sometimes a relationship can be really scary because it puts you in such vulnerable position, but it's actually what you want.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of story about how you're going to get hurt.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is edgy. So how do you know the difference between those two?
Practice. I mean, I get goosebumps as I talk about it, but really trying to identify the difference. It's really subtle.
Yeah.
And I have found it over time that if I slow down, I have to slow down and really take the time to know what I'm feeling. And I find that the difference is there's a bit of relief or excitement that I can feel.
Oh, I just felt it.
Yeah.
Totally, yes.
Towards the thing. And usually really close behind it is my fear barreling in and trying to scream at me to say,
I don't want to do this!
Yes.
I'm going to do it!
Yeah, and that's why really slowing it down. And I mean, every practice that we have, that we teach, always starts with slowing down and getting to just feel what's going on and having awareness of what's around you and what's inside of you.
Yeah.
So you can feel that subtlety and that space between your true self, which is this little subtle voice, and it's excited or relieved or whatever it is, and then all of your thoughts and stories and beliefs around what might happen to you. So that's the way that I've experienced it. Do you have any?
And what I hear in that actually is so much trust. That it's so important to trust your body, to trust your own intuition, to really trust the energy as it's moving through your body, and really know that these energies are guiding you in your life. And it's okay to be really present in your body. You know, there's a lot of fear around the body. There's fear of like these uncomfortable emotions or these things that, you know, we still need to heal. And I think so much of what we're doing here is encouraging you to drop back into that body. And you may need support. You may need a professional to help you as you move back into it. But once you do, it's like it opens up life in this way that there is this body wisdom that is flowing through you all the time. And all the subtleties of all those energies that are saying, I'm a little bit afraid, but I kind of love it. Or I'm a little afraid, go the other direction.
Right, right. And really, oh, I just had a beautiful thought and I totally lost it in the moment. But it's about that trust, and it doesn't lead you wrong. Those body sensations don't lead you wrong. We were not born into this world without the tools to navigate it. We simply weren't. Yeah. And to really begin to trust yourself, like Kelley says, to really let that move and feel and getting goosebumps again as I say this, which is another signal that I get, to let me know that it's the flow and it just doesn't lead you astray. Now, there might be those times where you will be the odd one out in your family and your friends. You think, I don't think the way everyone else does, because you're starting to trust that rise of truth within you, that little subtle voice, louder than the fear of no one's going to like me, I'm not going to have these friends anymore. But that's a long journey, and we'll get to that in another series.
It means you're on the path.
It really does.
You're on the path,
And so make friends with your fear, really get to know it, and slow yourself down. You're going to do great.
Thanks so much for watching today. I'm Kelley.
And I'm Chris.
And if this video brought up anything for you that you would like to explore or get additional support around, both Chris and I offer private one-on-one coaching, and we would love to dive deeper with you. Our website information is below.
And please subscribe. Kelley and I do videos regularly covering a huge range of topics around emotions and exploring emotions. And please share it with your friends and family that you know are needing help. We'd love to help. And please reach out to us and contact us with your questions. We'd love to dive in deep with you.